So namaste, Nicole Farrell here, Kachina Yoga. And today's video is entitled, You Can't Win If You Don't Play. So what is it, you ask, are we playing? Why indeed we are playing the game of life, right? So last night I was listening to a live that my mentor, M. Rain, did, and she was talking about the level up that she's been going through, and she was talking about the level up that many of the apprentices underneath her have been going through. And while she couldn't talk about every single one of the apprentices because she has so many, it would take a very long live video. Just honestly know that every one of us are the bomb. It just is what it is. So if you didn't hear her spotlight your name last night, know that you are indeed the bomb. But as she was talking about that, I was thinking about how each one of us got into that level of leveling up, into that space of leveling up. And it made me think about how much work we have put in over, the last couple of years to get to the space that we're all in right now, that she can actually be spotlighting her apprentices on blast and, showing all of the accomplishments that everyone has done. So when I was thinking about it, what came to me is that we decided to play the game. Okay, we decided to stop watching other people play their games and marveling at how wonderful and how well they play their games, thinking that they are so much greater than us, and start playing it ourselves. Okay, because life is indeed a game. It really is. So this life that you're living, it is literally the biggest virtual reality game that has ever been invented, hands down, period. Okay. This human body avatar is the most advanced technology on the planet. Cars designed after it, homes are designed after it. Everything that is within this reality is designed after the human body, okay? So all this virtual reality stuff that you see for sale, all these virtual reality games that you can play, is actually an artificial intelligence version of this bioelectromagnetic game that you are already in. But many of you just don't realize that you're actually supposed to be playing the game, okay? So you've either handed your controller over to someone else, or your game is just sitting on pause and you are inactive and just waiting to be reconnected. So even if it sounds crazy to you, keep listening, because what do you have to lose if I'm wrong? The only thing you would have to lose is taking control of your life, and that is not a loss ever to take control, to take back your power. So when you enter this realm, you receive this avatar, right? This body, this human avatar, just like you receive on a video game. And if you've ever played a virtual reality game, then what you do is you put on some goggles or you put on a helmet or something that submerges you into the experience and makes you feel like you are actually in the game. This is what your body does. This is what this avatar does. It allows you to feel and to experience the virtual reality of the game of life. As a soul, you are naturally a light body, okay? You are a very light, energetic body. But when you put on this heavy, dense, physical avatar body, what it does is it allows you to experience emotions, and emotions are energy in motion, okay? They allow you to feel the game that you're playing. The game wouldn't be any fun if you didn't get to experience it, if you didn't get to feel it. You might as well watch a movie for that, okay? You could just sit around and watch somebody else play the game. But you're actually in the game in order to move through it, to experience it, to level up, and to move through the stages. So this game, this life that we're living, is actually an experience and a journey that you have to take active control of in order to be the one that's running the game, okay? You not necessarily just you, but so many people have become attached to the experience of life and are so serious about it and giving so much emphasis and importance to what has happened during the experience, giving it value that it really doesn't deserve, that you have in turn lost your connection to your higher self. The higher self being the one who is actually playing this game. Okay? So when you lose that connection, what happens is your game goes on pause. And in order for your higher self, the God that is within you, to be in control, you got to get unstuck. Okay? It's like you have hit the pause button. The game becomes so much easier when you allow spirit to actually take control of the avatar. You trying to remain in control of the avatar and do things the way that you feel they should be done is keeping your game on pause. It's keeping your connection from your higher self from flowing freely the way it should. So a while back, I had a whisper in my ear, and it said, yes, you are a necromancer. And I was like, wait a minute, what? You know, because I've seen television and things like that, and you know, everybody, we get caught up in what we see on TV. So I really had to sit with that. And then I realized that, yes, I am a necromancer. A necromancer is a person who has the skills and abilities to bring the dead back to life. That is what the definition of a necromancer is. And if you get caught up in the way that the movies portray these skills, then you're going to miss the entire definition and the entire power behind what a necromancer can do for you. I'm not talking about physically raising a spirit, but at the same time, I am talking about physically raising a spirit. Yes, this can be done, but the dead that I'm speaking of is raising the dead that's within you, okay? If your game is on pause, guess what? You're dead. You're a zombie. You are the walking dead. Why do you think that there are so many shows about and movies about zombies? They're very popular because this is what humanity is experiencing right now. They are experiencing being the zombie, the disconnection, okay? As a child, you know, I didn't really go to church much. We weren't raised up in the church. And in fact, my immediate family joined the church within the last 20 years or so. I'm 44 years old, so I was raised up and we were considered to be the heathen children. But what it did for me is it allowed me to have the freedom to explore all of the religions. And that's exactly what I did. I mean, my mom will tell you how many times I came to her and she didn't want to hear all my epiphanies of, wow, look at this, that, and the other. But I explored all the religions, and eventually, after studying them, I came into yoga and then came into African and native spirituality. So I am probably the most eclectic yogi that you will ever meet in your life, like seriously. As a child, when I did hear, because there were times when we would go to church with my grandmother, I did hear some of the Bible stories. The ones that stood out to me the most were Revelations. I love the book of Revelations. I wanted to hear about that all the time. And the story about the Valley of the Dry Bones, okay? That was one that I just could never shake. And later on in life, I understood why I could never shake that Valley of the Dry Bones. When a story clutches you in your heart space so strongly, then you need to take notice of that because it is speaking to you. The Bible is written in parables in order to portray a story that needs to be passed on for a long time when times change, people change, languages change, and all this, that, and the other. When I watched the story or the series, I think it's American Horror Story, the series The Coven, my favorite character was not the black girl, okay? People probably say, oh, yeah, I relate to the black girl because I'm black. No, that was not my favorite character. My favorite character was the white girl who was the necromancer, okay? I really felt her character because it described something inside of me. When she died or she transitioned within the movie, within the show, because she wasn't able to overcome all the past traumas that she had experienced in life and able to detach, it really spoke to me and it showed me a lesson that no, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to survive, okay? So when you're watching a movie or you're watching a show, you might not always resonate with the main character, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, because that's not your movie. This is your movie right here. You're the main character of this movie. So a lot of times it'll be one of the supporting actors, the supporting roles that you resonate with, and that was the particular role that resonated with me. Anytime it's a music that you experience that it may be different than that of other people in your life, in your family, you like to listen to a certain kind of music, it's a reason for that. Anytime there's a role in a show or a movie or a play or whatever that really calls to you, there's a reason for that. Anytime there's a religious text and there's only a particular part, you could go through the whole whatever that book is of that religion, and there's only certain parts that really call to your heart, there's a reason for that. Okay, anytime you're drawn to certain animals and certain numbers and certain colors and certain things, there's a reason for that. That is your soul trying to give you a sign of who you are and what your next steps need to be. So we got to start to listen. We got to start to pay attention. Okay, we got to start to really bring our awareness. So going back to the Necromancer, you cannot spell Necromancer without the word romance. It's right smack dab in the middle of Necromancer. And that is what I do, okay? I take you through romancing your soul, romancing your higher self, so that you can get your game off pause, so that your spirit can begin to control this avatar the way it was meant to be. You can't win if you don't play. Period, point blank. You will keep coming into this doing the same damn thing over and over again because you refuse to pick up the controller and take it off pause. And you don't want to do that. Okay? It's just the dead truth. I bring those dry, dead bones back to life, okay? I show you how this avatar works, because there is a particular way that this human body avatar works. I walk you through each energy of your chakras. Each one of these is a different energetic center. One by one, they are different. However, they all work together. And I show you how each energy center holds a different set of skills and a different space within your makeup. If you've been following my Kachina yoga page, on my blog, I have been, instead of Black History Month, I have been spotlighting a month with the gods. So every day this month, I have had a different deity that I have presented. And if you've been reading them, then you will see that the presentation is showing you how each one of these deities shows up within the different energetic centers within your makeup, and that they show up in order to teach you something, to bring you something, to help you to level up. Okay, this is to assist you for those who are journeying with me, or for those who are not journeying with me. This is to assist you to see how what these deities represent when they present themselves to you, because that's what they do. They present themselves to you. This was not my idea to do this month with the gods. When it came to me, I was like, that's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens with my followers, because I'm usually a pretty quiet person, but it had to be done. It is time, it is past time for people to realize that researching and looking at deity outside of a monolithic God is not an evil thing. It is not an evil thing. It is actually how things were before this whole thing got hijacked, okay? So each one of these deities shows up similarly to the way that you would receive a cheat or a power up within a video game that you were playing. And once you get that cheat code in the video game, you unlock new skills, you unlock new levels, and you unlock new experiences within your journey, right? So you want these cheat codes. The game that you are playing right now, there's a game called Life. Not the board game called Life, even though they have a board game called Life, just to let you know that this is indeed a game. But this game is the most advanced, high-stake video game that has ever been invented, okay? This game is so advanced that you actually experience a physical death at the end of this game. Now, that's not the end of it. You're still a light body. You're still a soul. You just don't leave this particular avatar. But this is how advanced the game actually is. They actually make movies about this stuff, but many people just think, oh, that's just a fantasy. You know, that couldn't happen. But they're showing you. This is what you're doing, but you got to get off pause. You got to get off pause, because if you don't play, you can't win. So when these deities, when they pop up on you in this game, they are here to assist you with something. But if you're too scary, or you think that it is evil to understand anything that is outside of what you have been raised to believe, then guess what? You either miss out on the blessing, or you got to go the long route to get to the next stage, because you didn't take the little opportunity, well, the big opportunity that was presented to you on a golden platter right there in your face, because of programming. That programming sits and tells you that you are this particular identity. Okay, this is just your avatar. This is not who you are. This is who your persona is in this lifetime. This is the avatar that's playing this game. But when you go into your next experience, your next game, whatever it is that you choose to do after you leave this experience, you won't even look the same. Okay, you'll have the same energy. You can take all the levels up that you received. You can take all the development that you received, all the skills that you unlocked into the next game, but you won't be the exact same person. I won't look like this. I won't sound like this, even though I will still be me. So these deities, let's take the 7 African powers, and I'm going to use them because they're so popular. In Vedic teaching, which is my heartbeat right there, in Vedic teaching, it's the 7 Rishi, but many times people hear about the Orisha. And the Orisha are usually the first ones to show up for people because they're so very well known, they're so very popular. But there are deities that are much older than the Orisha, okay? The Orisha hit on African spirituality, which affects the Latin community as well, okay? Because the Latin community is based on African spirituality. Okay, so some of these deities will present themselves to you, whether it be Orisha or whether it be even more ancient deities. They're going to present themselves to you based on what is in your particular DNA, okay? What is your original makeup? That is what determines what deity are going to show up as guides to you. Some people don't resonate with the Orisha. Some people resonate with the Kemetic pantheon. Some people resonate with the Greek pantheon. Some people resonate with all different types of pantheons. But whatever it is, whether it be Mesopotamia, whether it be pantheon from the Indus Valley, whatever it may be, they are coming to you for a reason, okay? So when each of them shows up, they represent energies within your chakras, okay? Or you consider the chakras the different levels of consciousness or different dimensions, okay? You have a generic 7 of them that run through your energetic channel. There are actually many, many more, but in order to make it easy for basic understanding, we break it down into 7 generic chakras. If you think about the 7 African powers, okay, the 7 Rishi, the 7 seas, 7 being the number of God, okay? So when they show up and they represent themselves to you, they present themselves through symbology, okay? Symbology. It's not like the movies. It's not like the movies. It's going to be you're going to be brand new to awakening and some big old thing is going to appear in front of you. It's not how it happens. It can happen like that, but that's not normally what happens for a person who is new to awakening, or as I like to say, a newborn, okay? So in order to understand the symbology that has presented itself to you, you have to understand what the signs represent. Each one of these deities have their own symbology, and this is why I've been taking this month with the gods to show you, when you see this, know that you are being presented with an opportunity to level up. They have different numbers, they have different symbols, they have different colors, they have all kinds of different animals, all kinds of things that are going to show up to you to help you to know that this is me, okay? This is your cheat code. You got the opportunity to get the power center and to get the superpowers, because that's what you want to do in your game. You need the help. You all come in here with guides. The guides help you through the game if you accept the help, if you take yourself off pause. So you can't be sitting here thinking that everything, like I said, is going to happen in the movie. In order to understand the symbology, you're going to have to meditate. You're going to have to study, and you're going to have to practice awareness, or what is also considered mindfulness. And that is being aware of the subtle things that are happening around you each and every day, all day, in your dreams, when you're awake and when you're asleep. Okay? These deity, regardless of what pantheon that they're coming from, they are bringing you the opportunity to take your game off pause. It's a blessing. Don't be afraid of it. It's nothing to be afraid of. It is a blessing. It is an opportunity to stay in a belief that you don't even know that you believe in, but you just been given it. And somebody told you that to believe anything else is evil is to remain a slave. And when I say slave, we're going to take slave out of the whole African slave trade, because the African slave trade, what that does is that shows you the absolute worst that could happen within a slave trade. Okay, the absolute worst. It focuses you so deep on what the worst is that you don't even realize that right now you're a slave, that you're a mental slave, you're on energetic bind, you're disconnected from your higher self, and somebody else is either playing your game or your game is on pause. And that's what a slave is. You wake up to go to work, to buy more stuff that they show you that you need, so that you can remain disconnected, unfocused, and unaware of what is coming and being presented to you. Okay? That is the slave. So get past the whole African slave trade. Everybody up in this joker is a slave. Okay? Unless you have actually claimed your sovereignty and began to walk in your power, reconnected yourself with your oversoul or your higher self. So the ego programming, this avatar comes with programming system, just like your computer comes with the programming system, just like your game has a programming. Somebody programmed that game. Okay, that's what they're called, programmers. This avatar comes with an ego programming system. It is put there in order to protect you. Okay, so you are new to experiencing this journey called life, or really not so new, because most of us have been through it many times, but every time we come in, we forget, and then we got to start all over again. So this ego programming system tells you things like, okay, if you touch a hot flame, you're gonna burn. So don't be going around touching fire. Okay, if you fall, it's gonna probably skin your knee. So be careful when you walk with grace. Things like that is what the ego programming system does. Keeps you from drowning yourself. Okay, you can't drown yourself. It's very difficult. You gotta jump in some deep water. You can't just go in the bathtub and drown yourself unless you're physically held down, because the ego programming system is gonna kick in. It's what it's going to do. However, the ego programming system is not you. It's not you. It's just a part of this human avatar. You are the soul that resides within this avatar. The ego is loud. It's very loud, like a movie. It needs to be seen. It needs to be heard. Hey, me. And what the ego will do is everything that you've been programmed as a young child, because this programming in your chakras happens when you are very young. It begins at the time you enter this realm up until about 8 years old. So many times we don't realize that we've been programmed, but you have indeed been programmed, and you don't know it because you were too young to actually fight against the programming. Most of us actually probably did try to fight against it, but they beat it into us. No, this is what you are. You're a girl. You're a black girl. You're a Republican black girl. You're a Baptist Republican black girl. Whatever the hell they told you that you were, okay? It has been programmed into you. And the ego system, like I said, is loud. But your spirit, your soul is very quiet, and it is very subtle, okay? It's not going to be the thing that's just flashy and outright and trying to grab your attention. You're going to have to earn that. You're going to have to work for that. It's very easy to chase the ego and to chase the shiny things. And this is what we learned, the lesson that we learned from cats. Cats get distracted by shiny things. Every animal teaches us a lesson. But cats can be so freaking powerful. But when they see a shiny thing, they get distracted. Okay, so the ego is all loud and going on, and the soul is nice and quiet. The soul, you have to know it. You have to feel it, okay? In order for you to feel it, you have to have awareness. And in order to have awareness, you have to heal past any past trauma that you've undergone. And you have to understand energy. You have to understand energy for what it is, okay? And this is what I'm teaching. This is what I'm trying to walk everyone who joins in through my chakra classes through. What is that awareness? What is it? What are those subtle things? What is energy, okay? You have to know how to tune the body, mind, and the soul to work together as one married body. Contrary to popular belief, this is not your body. Your body extends past, this is just what you see with your physical eyes. Your body extends past this. You have a mental body. You have an emotional body. You have many, many bodies, but you've got to merge them back into one. That is actually the definition of yoga. Yoga is a union of the mind, body, and soul, okay? Yoga is a marriage, and that is what you need to do. The first person that you need to marry is yourself. In order to have a union, or as I like to refer to it, I like to call it a reunion, because when you first came in here, you were connected to your higher self when you first entered this realm, but like I said, you eventually began to forget. But in order to have this reunion, you have to romance, again, there's that word in the middle of necromance. You have to romance your higher self. You have to woo. You have to prove, and you have to put in the work that you are ready for what is coming to you. Just like in a romance between two individuals, you're not going to just jump on the first thing that comes at you and they didn't prove what they were worth or what they were bringing to the table, right? Because there's plenty of people that hit you up every single day. Ooh, you look good. Oh, you smell good, blah, blah, blah. But that don't mean that they get your attention, right? You have to do the same thing for your higher self. You have to clear all of the blockages that keep your energy from flowing powerfully through your energetic center. And when you clear these spaces and the energy flows at a much more powerful rate, then guess what? You become a much more powerful being. You become connected to spirit, which moves everything. Spirit is who should be controlling this avatar, not your lower self. Your lower self is meant to help you through the physical realm because you need it, but is not the part that is to be in control. It has to be a connection between the two selves in order for you to allow spirit to take over and to take the remote control and to actually begin to play this game. You have to marry yourself. You need a solid connection between your higher self and your lower self in order to fully step into your power. And you need to begin to play this game the way that it was meant to be played. You don't have to suffer in this reality. You don't have to suffer in this realm unless you choose to suffer. And when I say choose to suffer, that can sound harsh. But when you make such heavy attachments to the experiences that you went through, you are choosing to suffer. You go through these experiences in order to teach you something, okay? In order to take you to the next level. You should look at these experiences as stepping stones. One leads you to another, which leads you to another. If you ever look back at your life in an honest and candid way, you would see that everything that you've been through brought you to something next, okay? It brought you to something next, and you wouldn't have got to that something next if you hadn't been through what you've been through. So they are just indeed stepping stones. They are energy in motion. They are moving. They are making this experience rich. They are making this experience real. And when you come from a place of detachment, it doesn't negate what you've been through. All it does is take away the control that you're allowing it to have over you. Pain comes from holding on to something that no longer serves you. When you are being presented with an opportunity to level up, whether it be taking you to a new person, place, or thing, you've got to let go of where you were. You can't stay in two places at the same time and not experience suffering. You've got to let go of where you were so you can get to where you are trying to go to, okay? The pain only shows up when we continue to hold on to what's not meant for us any longer. All of that pain begins internally on a spiritual level. When you get to the point where pain is manifesting on a physical level, it is full-fledged, and it has had to bubble out into the surface for you to see what is going on. You could think about like an oil spill in the ocean. It could be a little leak in the ocean, and you may never know that there was an oil spill going on. But when it gets so bad that it starts to pop up on the surface of the water, it gets your attention. You know that something is wrong. This is what happens in our physical body. When we experience dis-ease in the body, that is because we have not been connected to source. We have not been connected, and we have had our game on pause. And it is a warning sign, like a check engine light in your car. You got an issue that you need to get in there and address. And guess what? It's never too late to address these things. I have seen people have 3 to 6 months to live. Even my mentor, they give her little time to live, okay? Many people. And when they went in and did their work, when they went in and healed themselves, and when they went in and disconnected themselves to all of these physical experiences that don't need that much honor, they don't deserve it. They were able to heal themselves and become a healthy, whole, and complete person, being, okay? It just takes work. So if you are still suffering from actually moving past and separating yourself from the power of human emotions, and believe me, they are powerful. You are a light body. You came into this and it's like, whoa, because guess what? They didn't bring you in with a manual. Nobody sat you down and said, this is how it works, and this is what's going to happen, and this is how it goes. But guess what? It doesn't really affect you because it's a game. Nobody gave us that. Now these parents that are waking up now will be giving it to these children that are coming in, thankfully. But nobody gave us that. So if you are suffering from that, then I can help you with that. It takes time. It's not overnight. You didn't get this way overnight. It took time for you to get there. But what you have to do is you have to reprogram the programming that your game is currently running on. You've got to restore to default is what you have to do, to your system default, because you were a whole and complete being when you entered, and someone else began to put their programming on you when you came in here. So I offer online courses. I do courses through private Facebook groups. And very soon I'm going to begin taking private clients who are very serious about doing the work to begin playing this game. And I want you to not hear the word yoga and get scared thinking that, oh, I'm not flexible. Because, like I said, I'm the most eclectic yogi that you will ever meet. I love all the deities, okay? I love all the pantheons. I love people in general. Love is my vibration, y'all. I love, okay? Regardless of where you are, I love you to the point that I want you to get to where you need to be, okay? So don't let yoga scare you off. When you see all these contorted yoga poses, that is just the physical manifestation of what they have done mentally and physically. All the mental blocks that they broke through, all the physical upgrades that they've received shows out physically and manifests as, wow, I can contort my body in all these ways. Yes, yoga poses are very, very healthy for you. They help you to clean out your chakras. They help you to clean out your glands. They help you to detoxify your organs, your skin, everything. They are very powerful. Never take anything from them, but they are only one limb of yoga. There are 8 limbs, and we use all of them when we walk through our chakras. We use every single one of them. So don't get discouraged about the poses. It's a very small part of it. The physical poses, like I said, are a manifestation of the work that you've done spiritually and mentally. So if you're interested, you can hit me up in the inbox. But at the very least, research, meditate, and practice awareness. It's the best thing that you can do for yourself. I'm going to get off my high horse and start to look at some of these comments and see if we have any questions here real quick. Let's see who we got here. Hey, Mimi. Felicia, Aaliyah, April, Kiana. Oh, I see a lot. Lydia. I see a lot. Hey, Kendra. Kalinda. Hey, sis. Sylvia. There's so many. Oh, so many people on here. Wow, wow, wow. Let's see if we have any questions. If anybody has a question, now is the time to ask. Am I saying that right? Tania? I always want to ask you if that's how it's pronounced. That's how I read it, is Tania, but how are you, love? Oh, thank you. Natasha. Oh, Life was one of your favorite games? I know, me too. Hey, Nashiki. I see so many of my favorite beautiful Apprentice family on here. It's not even funny. I love y'all. Yes, 7 is a very spiritual number. Hey, Ruby. Let's see. Y'all just all showing some love. All right. Well, if we don't have any questions, y'all can always hit me up in the inbox. I'm always available to answer questions. I just encourage you all to begin, like I said, to play your game. Play your game. Play your game. Take it all. Pause. Don't be that zombie. It's not worth it. This life is meant to be experienced in so much of a richer capacity than we are actually living in. We've got to get up out of those lower chakras. We need them. But we've got to raise up out, because there is so much more, because at the end of the day, there is only one you. So you have no choice but to shine. The divine in me bows in gratitude to the divine in each and every one of you. Y'all have a beautiful day. Namaste.